Awesome job, Kendra. All right, top AI tools today, or top AI tools to know today. So we'll get into this really quick. These are things that I use a lot in my work as the Director of AI Operations here at Element 451. But let's get in here. All right, so the first one, I think a lot of you might have explored this before, but its strong recommendation is Notebook LLM. The second is a product that's called Google Vids, if you're in the Google workspace. A lovely solution, and I'll go into each one of these. If you are wanting to vibe code, there's Replit, there's Lovable, there's a couple others, but they're really cool little solutions to get these ideas, web assets, applications out of your head and into reality, talking with your team on how you can actually look at it, implementing that into the school or your company. And then Claude for Education, really, really novel approach that they're taking with creating this sort of pedagogical approach and Socratic method in terms of teaching people about a particular type of topic. And then lastly, for those that have to do a lot of presentations and want to have these like really sexy variations of presentations you've seen, I think Artist uses Beautiful.ai as well. Gamma is a really good one too. All right, Notebook LM. If you've not used it before, just go to notebooklm.com, jump into it. It is such a lovely solution if you are trying to, let's say, ideate around a presentation. So take some of your notes, your findings, your data, put all that information into its repository. And then there's a couple templated solutions that are on the right-hand bottom side that allow for you to see what's going on. And then the feature that I love the most about it is on the top right-hand side, it is a podcast solution. So once you've created this presentation, you have these two like NPR-like podcasters that talk back and forth with each other, and you can actually jump in that sort of third wall and get into the conversation and ask them questions. So you're now having this natural conversation with two LLM agents about the topic that you're looking to present on. Create study guides, FAQs, it's a lovely product. So I should have jumped ahead. So that top right-hand side is the generate the audio. It plugs into, if you have Google, it plugs natively into that solution, so you can just type in whatever file and information, you just add that to it. And just like ChatGPT and Gemini, you have this little prompting bar down below. It's just an awesome tool. Google Vids. If you have to do very fast training on how to use products or roll something out, it's great. So you could take a presentation, you could take a process file, a Word doc, a product information, and say, hey, you go into it, and literally, it's going to jump in here. You're going to select the template that you want to have. Once you do the selection of the template, you upload the file, and then out comes a fully done video, and it'll have audio attached to it. You can jump in and use your own voice, or you can use an AI-generated voice inside of it. Wonderful transitions. It really makes a sort of magical presentation come to life, opposed to it being a static PowerPoint. You can just pump those out. You can save it. You can put it on YouTube and all kinds of other fun things. So Replit is a tool that has been designed to allow for individuals that don't have either the time and or the competency to be able to do both front-end engineering and back-end engineering. And what that means is I want to create an application that is able to, let's say, do an ROI savings and have all these inputs. And then I want that application to also store the results so that my team members can look at it. And I want to create a login, so there's an administrative and team user view. You can put that prompt into Replit, and it will just build it for you. And then you can say, I want to host it, and it hosts it. And now you have a website, and the whole application's done. And it is like real vibe coding. Like in 25 to 30 minutes, you're really doing something really, really fun. So that's what it looks like, just like a prompt. Like a custom GPT, just imagine a custom GPT with any of the functionality in the world that is available online. Next one, Claude. If you haven't used it, it is like the other large language model that's out there. So you have Gemini from Google, you have OpenAI's ChatGPT. Claude has been orienting and solutioning more for the education space, and I know they've done a handful of partnerships recently with colleges and universities. Definitely worth checking it out. in terms of how they're narrowly focusing in on the higher education space and education space itself. So really just create a study plan. So if you have faculty members like, how do I even start doing this? And I recall somebody was talking about virtual TAs, really good way to start getting there. How to create this content and thinking about it in that construct. So Gamma, Gamma.app, really cool solution. So this was actually my presentation. I threw it back in there, and this was the output behind it. The visuals are just much more rich, looks fresh, and you've got a ton of templating that you can go in and do different things with. So recap, Notebook LM, if you're looking for that partner, a really rich partner to be able to help you get more out of what you do. And I will say what's wonderful about Notebook LM on the podcast feature, if you're doing a presentation, the podcast piece will talk about things that you might not have recognized. So you might have unknown bias in your presentation, or you're just missing the core points, and it will help you refine what you're ultimately doing. Google Vids, quick video creation, Replit, build full stack apps, and Claude for education. They're getting more and more oriented around building and solutioning in the education space, which is wonderful. And then Gamma to create magical, beautiful presentations. All right, let's give it up for the next person, Dr. Benilla.